All right. Today is Wednesday, which means that you guys have until tomorrow at 3 o'clock at the end of the school day to get all of your makeup work turned in. You had all of last week to do it, and you've had all of this week to do it. Later on in class, I'm going to be giving you a printed grade report that looks like this. This is what I have in Power School for you right now. Remember that instead of zeros, I was very generous, showed a lot of grace and mercy, and gave you 50s instead of zeros. Those 50s are easier to recover from than zeros. And I know that there have been technology issues. I get it. But at this point, everybody should have a brand new computer and a brand new charger and the ability to get work turned in. And also during all that time, you had a composition book that you could write your answers in. And all you have to do at this point, if you don't want to retype them, is take a picture of the work and upload the picture to each assignment in Google Classroom. We looked on the Classwork tab. The video yesterday, video for Tuesday, September 28th. If you were not here, if you did not watch that video, you need to do so on your own time, because what we did then was we went over how to complete and submit assignments again. Because when I looked at grades, what I saw was a lot of people were doing the work. They just didn't know how to turn it in, or they weren't turning it in. So you need to watch that and make sure that you know what to do. This assignment that says all about me, those of you who were not here last Friday, we took a very short brain break and we did this little project. I will have you complete that. It's worth 100. It's an easy 100 for you. And you can complete it either tomorrow or Friday, depending on how we're doing on makeup work. I'm probably going to save it for Friday. The daily check-in form for traditional students. The HBA students aren't in my class anymore, so it's just traditional. It says all students daily check-in form. You need to do this every day. All right. Assignments due for marking period 1. We're going to talk about this redemption assignment in a minute and make sure that everybody understands, how to do the part 1 of it. You'll get part 2 tomorrow. Part 1 is for today. All of these assignments under here for assignments due for marking period 1 are things that should be turned in already. And if they're not, you need to do them. You will probably have to click this View More button several times in order to get all of the assignments to show. The one at the very bottom, when you see R1 or Reflection 1, beautiful, that should be all of the assignments showing on your screen. All right, so it's R1 beautiful all the way up to the redemption assignment. Those are the only things you need to be concerned about. If you are one of those who actually did everything and turned it in, you do not have to work on the other assignments that are ahead of us. I will give you a different choice of assignments to do. All right, the redemption assignment. First of all, is there anybody who doesn't understand anything I've said so far? Is there anything I need to clarify for you? All right, let's talk about the redemption assignment. Watch on your screen so that you can see what to do. It says, I'm gonna click View Assignment just so it'll be bigger for us. It says Redemption Assignment 1 or Redemption Assignment Part 1. All students must complete this assignment. Even if you've done all the work, you still need to do this assignment because this is worth an extra 100 for a test grade for you, and it will boost your average even more. Redemption Assignment Part 1. Create a Google Doc for your typed responses. Turn in the Redemption Assignment Part 1 when you have completed all 5 responses. There are 5 questions for you to answer. Write a 5 to 10 sentence response for each of the questions below. These are not yes or no questions. These are things that you're going to have to give me some reasons why. You're going to have to explain some things to me. Write a 5 to 10 sentence response for each of the questions below. Please use proper spelling, punctuation, grammar, and word choice. When I say proper word choice, use the right verb tense. It is not you is. It is you are. It is not I ain't. It is I'm not. or I am not. We're going to use real English language words, not text talk, not slang. Because communication is important no matter what job you have in the future. You must be able to communicate well and effectively. You must answer all of the questions in order to get the full 50 points for this part of the redemption assignment. If you only answer one of the questions, you're not going to get any points. You got to do all of it. Because some of you, many of you, didn't do a lot during the time that you were given the assignments to do to begin with. So you're going to put in some effort today, and you're going to tell me why. Number 1 says, if you are missing a lot of assignments, why do you think this happened? What can you do to ensure that this does not happen again in marking period 2? Or if you are not missing assignments, what are some of the things that you did to make sure you were keeping up and turning in your work? Give us some advice. Tell us what you did to make sure that you stayed on target. Number 2, how do missing assignments affect your grades? Why? Remember the example? I think this was the class that I started using the example of the math assignment for Miss Harris. She gives you a paper assignment, and you do that assignment, and you do it perfectly, and you even get it all right, and you know that you're going to make a good grade on it, but you don't turn it in. Are you going to make 100 on it? Probably not. Because if you don't turn it in, what's it going to be? A 0, because you didn't turn it in. And that's what was happening in here. If you're not turning in assignments, it affects your grades. And then you're going to have to discuss why. Number 3, how do missing assignments affect your stress level? Why? Let me speak to you about stress. First of all, it's a little bit stressful whenever I contact your parents and say, hey, so-and-so is missing a lot of work. That puts some stress on you. And then some of you are very motivated anyway. Just a quick example. My daughter is going to college to be a teacher. She's in her 3rd year. She's working a full-time job. She's going to school. Plus, both of us are helping out at a restaurant for some friends because they're short-staffed and need some help in the evenings. So she's got all these things going on, and she's got a couple of assignments that she feels like she's behind on. And it's just really stressing her out because she's trying to stay on target. Now, you don't have 2 jobs that you're working, and it's not a college level class, but it can still be stressful when you feel like you've got a lot going on. So I want you to talk about that. Number 4, how do you feel, or would you feel, if you had actually turned in all of your work? Some of you have turned it in. Some of you haven't. But how would you feel if you did? Number 5, and this is the one I'm really looking forward to. List 5 things that you would tell yourself at the beginning of this marking period that would have helped you to turn in your work on time. Think about where you are now, what you know now, the things that you're doing now. What would you like to go back and tell yourself at the beginning of the marking period to do? 5 things that you would tell yourself. And then those 5 things that you would tell yourself to do at the beginning, you need to remember those because we're at a new beginning. We're at the end of marking period 1, and we're about to start marking period 2. So you need to think about those things and say, okay, well, that's what I would have told myself then, but maybe I need to follow my own advice now. After you complete that Google Doc, remember you close the Google Doc. It should still be attached to this assignment, and then you click Mark is done to turn it in. That's what was happening. A lot of you were not clicking Mark is done. You weren't turning it in. So now you have a lot to resubmit because in Google Classroom, I did put 0s. In PowerSchool, I put 50s. You're welcome. Let's make sure that we don't have to do that next time. Are there any questions about anything I've said at this point that you don't understand or that you need help with, or this redemption assignment? Because you will have part 2 of it tomorrow. Today is your day to work on part 1. All right, then I am going to go back to the video and stop recording. All right.